Hello, my Legoland LARPers of the lagging internet. I have so much information to tell you because someone sent me a video this morning and it absolutely gobsmacked me. It left me speechless on the floor, gasping for air, gasping for breath. I didn't even know how to feel about the entirety of the video because it awoken me to a new wave of LGBTQ conservatives.
LGBT conservatives and independents exist.
And we have to have a second coming out since everyone thinks we're all leftists.
Just gonna stop right there. Just gonna go crazy for a second. I love the very butch lesbian coming out of the woo-woo with a Make America Great Again hat. I love that so much. She just came out of nowhere and said, by the way, we gotta have a second coming out. You have a second coming out to show that you are bigoted and oppressed at the same exact time. You want to be one of the good ones. This is so cool. I'm excited. I'm over the moon so far about this. This is amazing. So I want to continue with the video because it gets significantly worse. It's amazing.
We aren't all white.
It's not the fact that they're conservative that's getting me. I like, to be quite fair with you, there's a lot of gay conservatives. I'm not really against the entirety of conservatism and gay people completely. My bigger issue is the Make America Great Again stuff, because Trump staunchly is so far removed from all this. It's crazy. As a matter of fact, I do have an issue with gay conservatives. I do have an issue with that, because what are you doing? What are you doing? What do you think conservative means? They're trying to conserve the past. They're trying to conserve what was before. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the fact that this person right here, this person who has the piercings and the Making America Great Again hat, this is a staunch juxtaposition. And I'm not saying you can't have unique people. There are very unique people. It's just the entirety of the ideology does not coincide with this. These aren't two things that are synonymous with each other in any capacity. There's no ideological consistency within this at all, because conservatives don't like this kind of stuff basically at all.
Some of us are religious or spiritual.
But most of us just want smaller government and less overarching control.
We are more accepting than you're told to believe.
We listen to what others have to say, even if we disagree.
Okay, so I can disagree with you about preference of pizza. I can disagree with you if you don't like honey mustard Pringles right here. I love honey mustard Pringles. You don't gotta like the same thing. But this is basically human rights. Like, it's not as if they want to limit gay people or something of that variety. They want to actively destroy and annihilate and get them out. They think trans people are a plague. This is disgusting. It's not even about disagreement. It's the fact that they're coming for the lives of trans people. It's not a disagreement if you want me dead. It's really not. It seems crazy. It seems psychotic to say so. I don't see Republicans actively saying we're gonna kill all trans people, but they are enacting laws that make it harder for trans people to live in totality, thus forcing and opting for the dismantling and death of a lot of trans people. This is so wildly defeatist. I'm gonna keep going with the video.
We are just as diverse as straight conservatives when it comes to issues like gay marriage, foreign policy, and abortion.
You are just as diverse as straight conservatives when it comes to issues such as abortion, gay marriage. I don't think there's much diversity when it comes to straight conservatives on those issues, because a lot of straight conservatives think abortion is evil completely. A lot of men think abortion is evil because they don't want women to have choice. See, that's the thing. Being pro-choice isn't pro-abortion, it's pro-choice. Being pro-life is anti-choice. I don't know if people know that. And when it comes to gay marriage, conservatives don't like gay marriage. They don't want gay people to get married. That's basically it. What do you mean you're just as diverse when it comes to straight conservative? I don't understand that. Maybe I'm stupid. I could be dumb. I could be an idiot. I'd like to know. I would love to know. I would love to get some information about this. Maybe you could give me a pamphlet, a sheet, a worklet, a booklet, a syllabus to tell me what your agenda is, because you're obviously against whatever gay agenda was going on just to be different, just to be so different that you end up having this nonsense. I don't know what's going on. Let's keep going.
We don't make being gay or trans our entire personality.
Okay, I got it. I completely understand. My bad. I completely understand. I seem to have made a foul error in thinking they were being genuine with this. So I think that these people may have seen a lot of online discourse, right? A lot of online leftists, and then decided that that was the entirety of what the left is what's going on. I think the online diaspora has ruined their brain ever so slightly. I'll talk about it later, but let's keep going with the video.
Some of us live in rural cities in red states.
Some of us live in major blue cities.
We are brave and we stand for what we believe in.
We aren't triggered by wrong pronouns or gay jokes.
We aren't triggered by wrong pronouns or gay jokes. We don't care about safe spaces. This is still cool for us. That's fine. You know, that's great that you're not triggered by wrong pronouns or gay jokes. A lot of people that are trans or aren't triggered by wrong pronouns or gay jokes and still aren't bigots. I want to point that out. I want to point this out. He has a second Trump hat. This is the same guy from earlier. He has a second Make America Great Again hat. What great? I'm just so curious. What greatness do you want? What greatness are you searching for? I don't know what great. If I could have a baseline for the greatness you think was there, I would love it. It doesn't matter about the pronoun or gay jokes. That's not what we're arguing. That's not it. You're arguing against wokeness or this idea of wokeness that has been so just hyper satirized that you think it's an actual thing. It's so stupid. It's really just online. Like, you're watching the most extremist nonsense online and you're reacting to extremism with even more absurd extremism that you think is more so moderate or right, or just a little bit conservative by virtue of your compromising your entire being for just a political affiliation, just to ruin it for other people. What do you gain by doing this? Nothing. Absolutely, you gain nothing by doing this. This is nothing. It's a nothing burger.
But it can get lonely at times. Sometimes being a trans conservative makes you hated by both sides.
We aren't pick-me's.
Sometimes being a trans conservative gets you hated by both sides. So, one, conservatives don't like you. That should tell you everything about that. The conservatives don't like you. You're against naturally what you should be for, which is, at least on the left, at the bare minimum, they want trans people to live. Conservatives don't want you to live. That's why they hate you. And you are pick-me's. You are indeed literally pick-me's. You are, see, we have blacks on our side, we have trans people on our side. We're not all just white straight guys that are hidden with a gay agenda behind our butt cheeks. It's stupid to have that.
We're grifters just because we have a different opinion. And saying that we are is actual homophobia.
No, it's not homophobia. It's not homophobia to call that you are a bigot. That's not homophobia. You are actively vouching for the destruction and devastation of what you are. You're not gaining anything. It's what you're doing to me is like a black Klansman, right? Like a black KKK member. What would be the point of that? I understand that white people want to have power, and I understand that my people are weaker than other people. You are the equivalent of a black Klansman. That's what you are. Do you see how crazy that sounds? It sounds insane. Like, conservatives and Republicans don't want you to exist. That's it. They don't want it out in the open at all. They don't care about you. It's not homophobia to want you to be smart or not a bigot. Like, for like 10 seconds, it's not homophobia at all. That's insane to me. That's crazy.
Most non-LGBT conservatives or independent thinkers are pro-LGBT and pro-transitioned rational adults. Completely understand that our sexual orientations or gender identities don't correlate or dictate our political or social ideologies.
I agree with you, and that'd be so cool if politics didn't keep bringing up this issue over and over again. If this wasn't a mainstay thing over and over again, if this didn't continually pop up, if it wasn't put inside of trans people's faces, then it wouldn't be that big of a thing. But because it is, it has to be. Like, I feel like they're not understanding what exactly is happening here. I feel as though they have an idea and they're missing the mark ever so slightly. I feel as though there's something wrong. There has to be something wrong. There's got to be something wrong. But I'm gonna keep going. I want to hear the rest of this.
And we're actually way more common than leftists would like to admit.
I swear I'm not a leftist just because I have blue hair and a septum piercing. I hate that the woke left has taken this look away from us.
Absolute cinema. Probably the best video I've ever seen on the platform in my entire life. I have never seen something so tone deaf and beautiful. It's so amazing. It's so fun. And I think it's so, dare I say, deeply exhausting. I cannot vouch for the mindset of a LGBTQ conservative. I think they think their existence may be a social compromise instead of a natural part of humanity. I think they're going to spend years trying to earn approval through perfect behavior, perfect politics, perfect patriotism, perfect presentation of masculinity or femininity, hoping that they smile hard enough or denounce enough crazy leftists, they will finally be treated like one of the respectable ones, not the tolerated exception sitting politely at the dinner table trying not to breathe too loudly because conservatives don't want you in the space. You can feel the desperation in it sometimes. A lot of these people genuinely do not want chaos or internet discourse, a screaming identity politics every 6 seconds. They just want stability, normalcy, and a life that feels grounded. And I think that's most humans. I think that's most people. That's what they want. They wandered into a movement that historically views queerness itself as the instability. That's what it was. It's same way with conservatives how they feel about black people. I don't know if people know about the history of how conservatives feel about black people, because it's always been bad. If you look at Vidor, Texas, and how horrifying they were about the integration of, and I'm just going to show you. I feel like just talking about it isn't going to do it justice. I've shown this clip before, but it's very important to continually tell you about this specific thing.
And why is that, man?
Because we're doing fine without them. We don't need them now. And if they move to Vidor, there's just going to be a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's a white town. It's a white race. That's the way we want to keep it.
Cannot be counted, man. As a white man.
Most of the crowd cheered on the Klan speakers. They are horrified that a federal court will integrate a housing project in nearby Vidor. Vidor is an all-white town, and blacks are not welcome there.
Uplift Vidor! Uplift freedom!
Folks sat outside to look and listen. The little ones waved innocently.
I think it's foolish.
Why is that?
Well, these people don't really have any right, the way I feel about, coming down to Vidor and claiming all this victory for Vidor and everything. We're the ones that have to live with it.
Uplift America!
The nationalist movement opposes civil rights and fair housing. They came to Vidor applauding the federal government's failed attempts in desegregating the town's all-white housing project. 4 blacks tried moving in earlier this year, but later moved out, complaining of harassment.
We petition for the repeal of all laws which give favors to the few, preferences for the minorities, and privileges for the pampered.
Klansmen said they were here to swell pride, not spread hate. But some in the crowd weren't as convinced. No one wore a sheet, but some wore fatigues and waved rebel flags. Dixie blared and Klansmen preached.
I spent 10 years in the United States Army defending what I thought America was all about. I got out about a year ago. I come out here and I look and I see this guy standing up here wearing the same uniform that I put on every day for 10 years. It makes me sick.
100 law enforcement officials standing watch, there was little trouble. Just 2 minor arrests were made. And in the midst of all the shouting, the Grand Dragon calmly passed out balloons to a select crowd.
These are for white kids. White people only. I bought them and I'll choose who I wish to give them to.
Vidor is viewed around the country as a racially tense East Texas town. Some natives disagree.
We don't have racists in this town. We have Americans, God-fearing, hard-working Americans. If y'all want to see the true story of Vidor, Texas, why don't y'all go down here where the good Christians are praying?
We pray, give us the weapons to fight the good fight.
This prayer rally had just as many folks as the march did. They prayed for unity, and as these churchgoers put it, the defeat of evil.
The reason I brought that up is because it hits a lot of points, such as the fact that they're spiritual and all this other stuff and religious, and using religion as a backing and saying the crazy leftists are tearing things out. And I think we've gotten to this point of deep extremism on the internet where people don't know how to separate extremism from the normal person, because the normal person that's Democratic or even on the left isn't getting offended by pronouns, to be quite honest with you. They're just living. They're living, right? I don't get it. I do not get the tragedy. A lot of LGBTQ conservatives got radicalized by embarrassment. And it's just this embarrassment by being viewed as a leftist more than the actual ideology. They saw the loudest people online saying things that sounded so disconnected from reality. Saw clips designed specifically to make the left look insane. Saw people screaming at each other in TikTok fragments filmed vertically under these fun little fluorescent kitchen lights that make everybody look like they're about to confess to a murder, and they panicked. They panicked hard. They're not want to be associated with the performance art version of activism, which is fair. Right? I think that's fair not to be one associated with the performance level of activism, because, and to the credit of at least this a little bit, to give them a little bit of leeway, I just saw a crazy video of a woman. She was smacking her leg every time someone said the N-word to train herself not to. I'm just gonna show you what I'm talking about. It's a trans woman training herself to not be triggered by the N-word in the capacity because she has echolalia. So I'm gonna show you that.
Hands up, it's a hold up. Keep them pies hot. Pack the heater in the holster, slip the clip in the pot. If they try to genie on the quota, I can picture your noggin rocking you peasy on the corner. I stretch it with the soda, with the cream to the top. Pop Betty with the shoulder, got the keys to the drop top, but I'm in the Rover. Keep them fiends on that clock. Came to get the dough up. I've been wildin' for that cheddar, for that paper. Island hopping in Bahamas, helicopter to Jamaica. Puerto Rican poppy, got that product and that peso. Keep it better, cool on Broadway. Gigi, get the yayo. You know I'm about it. Every dollar on the payroll. Tell them we be grinding till the motherfucking deal. Bet you got it, bet you hate it. Get that paper, go on Broadway.
So they might see something like that, which is, I think, wildly performative performative and a little bit extra, and you may have echolalia and actively say it. If you hear it, I feel as though you may do that. Echolalia, I believe, is when you repeat a phrase that you hear over and over again, even if you know it's a bad term, you just hear it. I believe. I think that's from what I'm gathering. From what I'm seeing, that's what I'm gauging what echolalia is, because that was a very interesting video, and I think they may see stuff like that and think, oh, all leftists are insane, when it's just a few. It's simply a few people. It's really just a few people. So these LGBTQ conservatives swung violently in the opposite direction and attached themselves to people who fundamentally still want a very traditional structure for society. That structure has always centered around a straight nuclear family with Christian values as the moral blueprint. That's literally it. I want to have a daughter who she can't have intercourse until she's 30, and my son, well, he can have it at 16. That's basically it. Like, I'm not even joking. That's the basic Christian value, straight nuclear family. That's the engine. You cannot remove the engine from a car and still call it the same machine. You're not doing that. The fantasy of changing conservatism from the inside or being one of the good ones sounds noble until you realize movements are not reshaped primarily by the people they barely tolerate. Conservatism survives through preservation. It is literally in the name. The ideology is built around maintaining structures viewed as traditional, stable, and morally correct according to their worldview. That is conservatism. Historically, queerness has almost never been included in the original blueprint without decades of resistance, social pressure, generational turnover, and public backlash forcing adaptation inch by inch. You cannot enter a building whose entire foundation was poured with specific values and act shocked when the walls refuse to rearrange themselves around you just because you voted correctly and made fun of blue-haired college students on Twitter for 6 months straight. They still don't like you. And with that video we just saw, not the one about the lady smacking her leg, that was a little bit insane. I'm talking about the beginning video where the saddest part is watching LGBTQ conservatives constantly perform respectability to prove they are not like the others. Well, we're not like the others. We're doing these things. We're normal. We're normal, guys. We just want to have our own stuff. We don't like pride culture. I don't like flamboyance. I hate the pronouns discourse. I hate activists and queer theory, and I don't even like drag, and I don't even like protest language and pop psychology. Eventually, the only acceptable version of queerness becomes somebody quietly existing while apologizing for everybody else who shares the same labels. You are surviving through self-editing. You are ruining your own self, sanding down yourself into a socially acceptable shape and praying nobody notices the original outline underneath. We get it. You're conservative and LGBTQ. I just don't understand what you want. It's like, do whatever you want privately. Just don't shove it in people's faces. Keep it away from the kids. Why does it need representation? Why does it need a parade? Why do you say this? We need representation because nobody cares about us. That's it. That's it. You are adding conditions and social contracts with people just to try to accept being alive. You are limiting and self-editing your entire existence. You're becoming small, quiet, and digestible and non-disruptive to traditional aesthetics. It's disgusting. Then the second queerness in any capacity becomes visible, loud, political, emotional, or even culturally influential. It's just, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Oh, this is bad. It's so wildly ironic that some LGBTQ conservatives spend years attacking progressive queer people only to discover conservatives still call them groomers, right? Still call them troons, still insult them, still make policies and laws that destroy them. They do that. The mask slips every single time society gets tense. Economic panic hits, a cultural war rhetoric ramps up, politicians start talking about protecting children, and these trans people are all harming children. They want them to go on gender blockers at 2 years old. They want to call them babies. Babies? That's crazy. I'm calling my baby a baby is what it is, and I'm still not allowed to change my daughter's diaper around my wife, and I can't work at a coroner's office because of necrophilia. We know what you are. We get it, dude. We understand. We grasp it. Just calm down. This is disgusting. Yeah. Religious commentators begin speaking in apocalyptic language every time a pastor comes up and says, this is the end times. They're letting men become women and women become men, and then some people don't even want to become either. Why would you not want to be a woman who's disrespected in society and destroyed and torn asunder and completely treated as a second-class citizen, and the worst thing to be is a woman in this world? Why would you ever want to not be that? And why would you want to be a man where you have this horrifying idea of masculinity, where you can't cry and have no emotional maturity, and you can't wipe your ass without being called feminine? Why would you want that? And why would you want to be out the binary? This is disgusting. Stick within your role. Stay within a lane. Everybody has their role in life and stick to it. Entire communities become scapegoats overnight because fear is politically profitable. Minority groups are always the easiest fuel source for frightened populations searching for something to blame, while billionaires quietly buy another yacht large enough to have emotional support helicopters attached to it. That's what's happening. That's the reality of it. Oh, it's disgusting. It's so disgusting. And the nuclear family idea, the one I keep bringing up, it's the center of modern conservatism. That's what it is. So you keep hearing about white pride and all this other stuff, because that is modern conservatism. That's what it is. It's a holy relic preserved behind glass. They don't want to touch it because the greatest thing to ever come out of conservatism. That's what it is. That ideal traditionally revolves around heterosexual reproduction, rigid gender expectations, and Christian morality. That's conservatism. That does not mean every conservative personally hates gay people. I don't think every individual conservative hates gay people. Human beings are obviously more complicated than that. Plenty are kind individually. Plenty have gay friends, gay siblings, gay children, gay co-workers they genuinely care about, and don't just use that as a pushing point. I know that. I know conservatives that genuinely have people that are gay they care about. I'm understanding that. Systems are not measured solely through individual niceness, though. That's not how systems work. Even if I myself have this opinion, even if I myself have differing things, the system doesn't care about my individual taste in any capacity. Systems are measured through what they structurally prioritize, reward, defend, and legislate. That is what a system is. That distinction within the system in itself matters more than people want to admit. Your smile, you're making this video, you're doing all this stuff, does not erase policy. Kindness at the dinner table does not undo the laws passed in the state house. The entire thing feels emotionally exhausting because many LGBTQ conservatives are chasing a form of belonging that was never fully designed with them in mind from the beginning. You can hear the loneliness and the constant need to prove they are reasonable, respectful, civilized, normal, one of the good ones, not scary, not radical, not destructive, not political, not loud, not difficult. I don't want to be difficult because then they wouldn't accept me at the table. I won't be able to get any food. I won't be able to go for seconds. This is disgusting. Human beings are not supposed to live permanently auditioning for partial acceptance from people debating whether their existence represents moral decline or if their groomers are nasty or disgusting or vitriolic to the way of the Lord. That is a psychologically brutal way to move through life, and it is so damaging to you as people. Eventually, the performance will start eating the person underneath it. All that remains is, I don't know, Blair White, man, dude. That's all that remains is just Blair White. All you get is Blair White. That's the entirety of it. Or maybe you get Jeffree Star. Maybe you get Jeffree Star, who constantly, over and over again, says, well, I like gay people, but trans people, they kind of suck. Haha, hoo hee hee hee. Jeffree Star is just a worse example of this. It's horrible. The applause comes. The applause also stops. You're always going to get rejected. Waiting for the moment when people being useful stops being enough. The moment when the election cycle demands a villain and the LGBTQ conservatives who spent years trying to prove they are one of the good ones suddenly find themselves on the wrong side of a line they didn't know existed. You're going to ruin your life. You cannot pray away the bullets. You cannot vote away the target on your back. You can only decide whether you want to be shot while standing alone or while standing with people who actually see you. Clock is ticking. You got to figure out what you want to do. And you know what? On this same note, someone sent me another video about there's this trans conservative on TikTok. It's very interesting to see because they muggle around issues and it's so strange.
Trans women, and here's why. Number one, the community has been hijacked by people who aren't even trans. Trans activism has completely and utterly dismantled our entire community. I mean, the political climate towards trans people right now is terrible, and we all have to sit and think, why? And that is because we want grown men shaving their beards in the locker room with other women and children. Gross. Number two, we can't even define what a woman is anymore. We as trans people have completely taken away the meaning of women, and they're sick of it. And number 3, we have the blue-haired freaks running the show and claiming that all kids should be trans. And trans people are 1% of the population, so if you think all of these kids coming out as trans are actually trans, the statistics just prove against that.
There's so many things that I've already said that I could say about the respectability politics, about how wayward the thinking is, how people think the extremists are running everything. And this person is not the only person. This is not the only person doing this. There's so many of them on TikTok. They're getting a voice, they're getting a platform. They have a bunch of conservatives just actively talking about it. It's very, very, very interesting. It's just so interesting to witness all this over and over again. It feels very disgusting. It just feels disgusting to see that people are attacking themselves from the inside out within this, causing this worthless infighting for no reason at all. I'm just one lonely black man on the internet, so I know people might half listen to me because I'm black, so they listen a little less, but I'm a man, so they might listen a little bit because they're hearing it from a man. So let me know what you guys think. This is a safe space for trans people. I'm always here to help and listen, and I'm here to learn as well. I'm not perfect, no one is. Just want to learn what you guys think about this entire debacle. With that being said, I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your nigga night, be my Laurel Angelo. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you